Hi, this is Dolores Hirschman from DoloresHirschman.com, and I wanted to shoot a quick video today on my trip. I'm on vacation in Austria, and I'm going to show you a place that is very special to me. I have been coming here for the last, 30 years, and I've been hearing about it for many, many years. This is it's called Schloss Sachsengang. It's outside Vienna, about an hour outside of Vienna. And it is where my grandfather used to live and come in the summers. It was a property that belonged to his family, his mother, and it was established here in 1021. Schloss Sachsengang. Sachsengang was the path of the Saxons through this area, and it was built as a fortress. While it says Schloss, it's not really a castle the way you imagine prince and princesses. It was more of a fortress that would protect people from invasions, and it was taken over by the German soldiers in the Second World War, and then the Russians. And my family has, been through a lot of historic moments throughout its 357 years that it's been in our family. But the reason I'm doing this video is because I wanted to talk about what role does your history and your family story, and I'm coming into the house right now, into the property. You see, just went into the front door, and I'm walking into the courtyard. And I'll be walking through, I'm going to show you, as I walk around, I want to talk about what role does your family history have in shaping who you are. I'm going to turn around and show you a little door I'm going to go through right now, and go to the back of the garden. Here there used to be water on this moat. I'm going to turn around again, down there. And actually there's stories of my great-grandfather and my grandfather ice skating here in the winter. I'm going to come down this path. Hopefully I won't fall. And I want to tell you about what this place means to me. So, as you may know, I was born and raised in Buenos Aires, and I now live in the US with my husband and my children. But my mother, well, she was born in Argentina. She was born from Austrian parents who escaped Vienna in the Second World War. And she grew up being Austrian in a foreign land. In some ways, as I am a foreign mother in the US. And I grew up learning about Austria. And my mother's childhood was an Argentinian childhood with Austrian stories and Austrian food and Austrian nursery rhymes. Probably much as my children's has been an American childhood with Argentinian nursery rhymes. And so I wanted to, I'm going to catch my breath. I want to talk about who we are and where does the story fit in who we are, and how much do we allow, how much do we choose, how much do we infuse our children's experience and the people in our world with our background. So this property, while it's not a place I ever lived in, it's not a place I even spend more than a day at, it has been an important kind of cornerstone of my family. 7 years ago, my brother and I, my older brother and I, came for a 350-year reunion since this property had been in our family. And it was an amazing experience to sit around the table with people I had never met before, but they were somehow, by blood or by marriage, related to the story of this property. And we shared, our memories. We shared our passed down stories from our parents and grandparents. And I realized that I'm not Argentinian, I'm not American, I'm not Austrian, I'm none of those things. But I am a little bit of all of those. And that as I turned 44 last week, and as I, think through, who am I at 44, I really like the idea of embracing all the things that have infused my life, all the things that maybe because of them we've suffered in one way or another. You know, definitely my grandmother did not have a good time when she had to evacuate her house in one day and get on a train to Paris, and then from there a boat from Marseille to Buenos Aires, and she had to start over. And that was her story, and her story, that experience shaped a lot of my mom's story, and as the daughter of a forced immigrant. And in my case, my children are the children of a person who immigrated by choice, because I chose to marry my husband and chose to settle in the U.S. As a way of starting our family. It was a completely open, decision. But in the state of the world right now, and how many people are being displaced by, not by choice, but because of safety, because of war, because of hardships, it makes me think about, how do we live with all our experiences? How do we live with all the things that happen to us, whether by choice or not? And how do we integrate them and have them, service, have them build us up instead of becoming victims of those stories? So in this quick video, the only thing I want to do is, one, share my story, show you a little bit of my world, and also I want you to pose this question that you can take with you is, how do I add color from my past? How does my story bring color into my future? From there, I'm gonna send you a really big hug and kiss from Austria, from Schloss Sachsengramm. I'm gonna go up this little narrow path. I'm gonna show you, see if I can turn around. I'm gonna go back up this little narrow path back to the property to join my mom and my brother and my daughter who came with me on this trip. And I will probably send you an email, a video next week from my next stop in Venice. Have a great week.